Let me start with the question most people have never been asked directly. If you lost your job tomorrow, how many people could actually help you? Not emotionally, but practically. Not people who would say, let me know if I can help, but people who could introduce you to the right decision makers, recommend you for a role, vouch for your ability, and pull you into an opportunity. This question usually makes people uncomfortable because most professionals feel they have a decent network, but they have never measured it. And that is the real problem. Before we talk about frameworks, let us ground this with some data. Research shows that access to opportunity explains a large part of career divergence among people with similar skills. LinkedIn's hiring data consistently shows that referrals and internal mobility outperform open applications by a wide margin. In fact, referrals outperform applications by 2 to 4x. Yet, most professionals still assess their network using vague signals. I know a lot of people. I'm active on LinkedIn. I attend events. Does this sound familiar to you? None of these measures can be social capital. So today's real question is this: how strong is your social capital and how do you measure it effectively? At Career Earth, we answer this using two tools: the Career Earth Social Capital Score and the Evidence Checklist. Let me show you how this works through some of our recent consulting examples. Social capital is not visibility, it's not popularity, it's not the number of contacts on your phone. Social capital is your ability to convert relationships into opportunity. That's why it must be measured by evidence, not intention. So, Rita came to us recently. She's an early career professional, 25 years of age, a financial analyst, smart and hardworking. She told us very confidently, I think my network is decent. I know many people. So instead of debating, we applied the Career Earth evidence checklist. We asked her objective questions. In the last 12 months, how many people introduced you to someone new? How many people shared a new opportunity with you? How many people have seen your work closely enough to recommend you? Rita paused. The answers were uncomfortable. She knew people, but very few had evidence of her capability. So we explained to her the Career Earth Social Capital Score in simple terms. Your score is built from four components: access, who can you reach? Trust, who has seen your work? Advocacy, who will speak for you? Activation, how often this converts into real outcomes. Rita's access was very high because she knew a lot of people. Her trust and advocacy were very low, which is normal at her early stage of career. So the goal was not more networking, the goal was evidence creation. We helped her focus on projects where peers and seniors could observe her work repeatedly. Over time, referrals and recommendations started appearing, not because she asked, but because there was proof. Her social capital didn't increase emotionally, it increased measurably. What is your social capital? Aryan came to Career Earth and he wanted some advice. He's 37 years old. He believed his social capital was strong because he had mentors and contacts. So we ran him through the same evidence checklist. We asked, in the last year, who publicly endorsed your work? Who has put your name forward for a role or project? Who would take reputational risk for you? Aryan realized something important. His relationships were very private, not activating. In mid career, value comes from endorsement, not advice. Using our social capital score, we showed him that access existed, trust existed, advocacy was missing. That is why his career had stalled. So we changed his strategy. Instead of collecting advice, Aryan focused on solving problems that senior leaders were personally accountable for. That created visible proof. Proof created advocacy. Within a year, his score changed, and so did his outcomes. This is the mid career reality. Social capital without advocacy looks strong, but it does not move your career. And therefore, you got to build your social capital. Let me tell you about Seema today. She's a very senior professional in her late 40s and she's exploring advisory roles. She didn't talk much about her network, she talked about conversations. So we applied the evidence checklist framework. The pattern was very clear. People called her for advice, she's senior. People asked her to join discussions, she's senior. People introduced her to others without being prompted, she's senior. So, senior social capital is about trust. Because people trusted her and she was senior, things happened. Her social capital score was high not because she was visible, but because her relationships activated themselves. And that is important. That is the senior level shift. At this stage, you don't chase opportunity. Opportunity flows through trust. Let me share with you the Career Earth insight. Step back and notice something important. All three people had networks. Only one thing differed: measurable evidence. That is the Career Earth insight. If you can't point to introductions, endorsements, referrals, and invitations, then your social capital is weaker than you think. If it can't be evidenced, it can't compound. That's why Career Earth does not ask, who do you know? We ask, what has your network done for you recently? You don't need a massive network. What you need is a few people who have seen your work, who trust your judgment, and who are willing to act. That's where the Career Earth social capital score is designed to measure. And that is why we pair it with an evidence checklist, not just emotions and opinions. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this: social capital is not a feeling, it is a measurable career asset. Once you start measuring it honestly, you stop chasing visibility and start building leverage. Now, if this video helped you think more clearly, share it with someone who believes networking is about numbers and the phone numbers on their mobile phone. And tell me in the comments, have you ever actually measured your social capital? That is where the real work begins in your career. अगर क्लैरिटी होगा तो ग्रोथ होगा, ग्रोथ होगा तो करियर होगा, ये हमारा आपसे वादा है. I look forward to seeing you at Career Earth.